Hi everybody, Tim Hughes here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DLA Knight. With me today I've got Kevin Perlmutter, and we're going to be talking about his new book, Brand Desire, Spark Customer Insight Using Emotional Insights. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on. Love the book. Where can people find you?
branddesirebook.com. Right there on my website, all information about the book, and it has links to other pages about my business, Limbic Brand Evolution, and the kind of work that I do and how I help people. Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah, you're welcome, Kevin. Really love the book. I'm going to say this now. There was something that I took a lot away in your book, but there was one thing and you've opened my eyes and changed my life.
I love hearing that. Oh my goodness.
And the thing is that you've got a whole number of these case studies where you explain how people aren't customer centric. Now, if you go to so for example, while I was reading it, I did this interview, and it was with a person from HR. They've got a very lovely small HR consultancy. I bet if you went to them, you say, "Are you customer centric?" They go, "Yeah, the customer is the most important thing. It's everything's to do with the customer." Okay, and their strap line was, "We consult differently." And the difference is that, as you point out in your book, that's inwardly focused.
Yeah, it is,
and it's not about the customer. And what you do, and I do it now. I was running the other morning, and there's a van, and it had, I can't remember what it had on the side of it, and I started taking photos of these inwardly focused things, even becoming obsessive about you, Kevin.
I love it. This is amazing. I want to see your photo collection. This is amazing.
Yeah, inwardly focused strap lines. I mean, I can't stop seeing them now.
Well, it's everywhere. The thing is that brands, for the most part, are eager to be customer centric, and they're eager to sell what they have to sell, and they're eager to persuade people that what they have to offer is a benefit to the customer. And that's traditional brand strategy. And the approach that I'm proposing goes a little bit deeper into understanding what makes people tick, and goes from a persuasion-based approach to one that's more for the customer, one that's more of a benefit and an invitation in a strapline, in a tagline, in a brand idea. It's a benefit and an invitation, not an about us statement.
Because you talk in the book about I liked this one. I know you and I know you want to talk about different case studies, but I like this one because this is the one for me where the penny dropped, which was about the A&T Performing Arts Center.
AT&T Performing Arts Center, yeah.
Yeah. And their tagline was "Staging the Amazing," which you think, yeah,
on the surface sounds like a good idea.
That sounds like a good idea. But actually, you did a whole load of work with them and customers, and found out that people like going there and discovering something. You know, they go there and maybe discover, "Oh, I've not been to opera before, or I've not been to ballet before." And what you changed it to was yours to discover.
Yes.
So going from staging the amazing, which actually is inwardly focused, to yours to discover, which is customer focused.
Yeah.
Subtle, but it's a difference, isn't it?
It is a big difference. And, you know, that particular case in a performing arts center, they often have the challenge of a very broad audience for their performances that range from super wealthy people who go to black tie events, to family events, to yoga on the lawn, to ways that they are, as a nonprofit in the Dallas community, ways that they are helping underserved communities with arts and education, ways that they're helping emerging artists get on stage. And they were having a brand challenge when I met them, which is that many people in Dallas did not think it was a brand for them. And when we looked at what they were doing, they were staging the amazing. And that was steering them down the path of talking about how amazing everything they had to offer was. how amazing their venues were, how amazing their performances were, how they have the most amazing this and the most amazing that. And it was honestly, it was them talking about their why. It was them talking about their why, and they were leaving out a large majority of their who. And what I encouraged them to understand and think about was, think about the reactions you get from people from every walk of life in Dallas to their experience at the center. And when speaking with their customers, with their audience members, and reading reviews and hearing the verbatims, we heard things like, "This place is amazing. I could not believe what was happening inside this building once I went in. I didn't think that I could walk into a building like this, but it was so welcoming." And all we heard about was that people were discovering things, and that there was so much for people to discover that they were unaware of. And once they went inside, once they checked it out, their lives were changed. And that was my first Limbic Brand Evolution client in 2019. It's the first case I talk about in the book. And it was when I lit on this idea that brand ideas can't be a brand's why. It can't be an about us statement. It has to be a benefit and an invitation. You need to feel you need to feel invited into an organization, and you need to feel like it was designed with you in mind. And the book shares how to transition um, from brands telling people what they want people to know to helping people feel the way people want to feel.
Because you talk about the difference between customer focus and customer centricity, don't you?
I talk about the idea that customer centricity and using emotional insights to fuel customer centricity is perhaps the largest competitive advantage that any business owner or brand leader can have. Because what that enables you to do is it enables you to align everyone internally around what it is that customers need, want, and desire, and how your brand can best fulfill those needs, and how the product and service offering can do that, how the customer experience could be set up to do that, and how marketing can invite people into what they are looking for that your brand can offer so well. And then that in turn leads to customer success. So this idea of the brand leader being responsible for and using emotional insights, customer insights to their advantage, can drive things internally that make things better for customers, that help people internally achieve the objectives they were hoping for, and the cycle keeps going around.
And what do you mean by emotional insights?
Well, emotional insights are related to understanding people's emotional motivations. And emotional motivations are the things that it's what drives our decisions and our behaviors. So if you can understand people's emotional motivations, and you can understand what makes them tick, and understand their needs, wants, and desires, those are emotional insights that you could bring into your work, your strategy work, your experience development, your messaging development, your brand aesthetic development. Emotional insights are the fuel for how you actually connect with people in ways that they will respond to, because it creates what I call limbic sparks. And limbic sparks happen when your emotional motivation meets brand desire, when you feel like you want to bring a brand into your life because it feels relevant, because it sparks your interest, because it was designed with you in mind, and the experience keeps you coming back for more.
And you talk about the science of desire, and is there a scientific or psychological foundation behind why emotional insights are more powerful than like a rational messaging?
Absolutely. Everything that I share in this book is rooted in science, behavioral science. And I'm not a behavioral scientist, and you don't need to be a neuroscientist to apply what I'm sharing in the book. In fact, they make it very practical for anyone in marketing and branding and running a company to bring these insights into it. But the fact is that scientifically, there's something called emotional avoidance something. And that theory, I'm forgetting the last word in the theory, but that theory says, I won't forget this part, that we gravitate towards the things that make us feel good, and we gravitate away from the things that make us feel bad. And that is scientific. So when we encounter something that we are lit up by, that we are inspired by, it's approach avoidance motivational theory, and what that means is that we are gravitating towards the things that make us feel good instinctively. The other thing that's happening is that our brains are processing so much input at any given moment. These instinctive emotional responses that we have, most of them, the large majority of them, are not consciously thought about or felt, and those trigger our conscious into thinking and feeling and behaving. So the thing that's going wrong with traditional brand strategy and traditional marketing is that there's this whole field of neuroscience and behavioral science understanding that most brand leaders and marketers and brand consultants are not taking into account. So when you use persuasion-based techniques that are not rooted in deep customer understanding and understanding what makes people tick, then you're going against behavioral science. And what I recognized and why I created Limbic Sparks brand strategy and why I wrote a book to evolve my own industry and help brand leaders take this thinking forward is that you can bring scientific thinking and understanding into how your brand connects with people, and you'll have a better shot of actually making strong connections.
So give us another example from the book, because you've got loads of case studies in there.
I do have loads of case studies. Let me think of which one I want to talk about. So there's an organization. This is a B2B organization. It's a supply chain management company. They are called Blue Ridge, and they have a SaaS platform that helps inventory managers predict accurate inventory levels in multiple warehouse, thousands of SKUs, seasonal variations, you name it. It's predictive analytics. And they are part of a competitive set that has many companies that do similar things. They were going about their marketing in a very traditional way. They had a brand idea, which is "We put you at the center of supply chain success," which is benefit oriented. It's not. I mean, it was an okay line, and it was benefit oriented, and but it wasn't specific enough, and it didn't help them stand out in the industry the way they truly wanted to. So when I worked with them, I interviewed many of their customers in the US and Europe. We analyzed 77 reviews on a B2B website where they had a 4.7 out of 5 rating. We did a sentiment analysis. We looked for what people were responding to. So this is a company that's doing very well. They just wanted to get the word out to more people. And what we heard is that this company helps people who run inventory feel like they are in a much better position than ever before. Because before, we heard this insight. I was the person who got in trouble at work for sometimes being wrong. And that meant that the cash flow of the company wasn't where it needed to be. There was too much inventory tied up on the shelf. Customers weren't getting the product they needed. And I was the person who was not in good standing in the company because of this. And now that we've brought this software in, I am the hero in my company. I am the one with the accurate information. The CFO loves me. The head of sales and customer experience loves me. This is what we are feeling. So we transitioned from "We put you at the center of supply chain success" to "Be supply chain invincible." Be supply chain invincible is a line that externally invites people in this industry into how they want to feel. It takes a very high road in the category in terms of the ability to do this, and they pay it off with benefits like eliminate guesswork, maximize inventory performance, and unmatched partnership. And in this industry, they have an unmatched partnership with their customers that it is unmatched. Other competitors don't have this. They have lifeline coaches. They help their customers feel they help their customers maximize the use of the software at any given moment, and they're helping their clients feel invincible. And it is just, it is now the beacon within their company for how they continue to move forward to help customers feel invincible at all points.
And what What common mistakes do you see people making?
The most common mistake is they're operating blind.
Right.
Brand leaders are operating without customer insight. And one of the first things that we do when evolving a brand, and what's described in the first section of the book called Focus, which is all
Yeah.
about insights discovery, is we connect with customers. We
Right.
understand customers directly, and we come up with what I call the shared emotional motivation. And that is missing from traditional brand strategy. The shared emotional motivation is what both the customer and the brand are trying to achieve individually and together and with each other. So for this supply chain management company, the shared emotional motivation is improving planning precision. And that is their common mission, their common goal. And once you understand that, then you can invite them into the experience with a brand benefit and invitation like Be Supply Chain Invincible.
And because you talk in the book's broken down, isn't it? But feel, focus, connect, evolve, and lead.
Yes.
Which is, and I mean, what you're saying with connect is ultimately you need to talk to your customers.
Yes. Well, with Connect, so focus, connect, evolve are the three phases of Limbic Sparks brand strategy that are detailed throughout the book. And there's a case study or two for each that really
Yeah.
details how it comes together. So the focus we just talked about, connect is where you develop that brand strategy. And the difference between a traditional brand strategy development and a Limbic Sparks brand strategy development is that benefit and invitation that is tied to the shared emotional motivation. And then evolve is how you bring it to life through benefit-oriented, emotionally benefit-oriented messaging, like the benefits for that supply chain company, eliminate guesswork, maximize inventory performance. These are not features of the product. These are emotional benefits. This is how people want to feel, and explains how to then trickle those benefits down to the core stakeholders. And for this particular company, there's the C-suite, which is responsible for allocating the funds to buy the software. And there's the users of the software who feel the benefits and deliver the benefits to their leadership every single day.
Because if you think about brands, people generally say that emotions are intangible, but what you're saying is that you're actually you're connecting a business measurement ultimately to brand desire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What we're doing is we're helping people recognize that what is most important to them, their emotional motivations at work, at play, wherever they are, that they can be solved by this brand. That this brand has something to offer that is going to feed something that they crave. And that emotional tug is super important to people and often tied to the tangible KPIs, if you will, that they are trying to achieve in their situation.
So I need to clearly I've got to ask you a question about AI.
Okay, please do.
Um,
I have big opinions.
does AI feature in any of this?
It does in a bunch of different ways, and it shouldn't feature in a bunch of different ways. So the challenge with AI that we currently have is that AI doesn't have relatability. AI can't suss out emotional insights and do so in a way that a human can. AI can be tremendously efficient in pulling information together, but I would hesitate to use it exclusively for analyzing things from an emotional perspective. I'd hesitate to use it for writing things that are not coached and edited by a human afterwards. But here's the other thing that I talk about in the book about AI in the chapter that is about customer centricity and brand leaders' role in that. AI is going to continue to improve. AI is going to continue to get better. Marketing automation is going to continue to improve and get better. But that line keeps shifting. Here's what I say in the book. Brand leaders' role, the brand leader's role is to know where that line is. It's the do not cross line. And what makes it the do not cross line is when AI or marketing automation degrades the customer experience. When you're using it and it's providing benefit to the customer experience, go for it. When you're using it and it's degrading the customer experience and degrading your brand in people's minds, you need to put a halt to that activity. And as a brand leader, you need to know where that line is and not cross it.
I'm with you, Kevin. Kevin, thank you. The 20 minutes goes very, very quickly.
Very quickly. That was so much fun.
So thank you so much for coming on and talking about your book, Brand Desire, Spark Customer Interest Using Emotional Insights. If I wanted to buy a book, where could I get one?
Well, branddesirebook.com has a bunch of different options, but very clearly you could buy it on Amazon, or you could buy it from my publisher at koganpage.com.
Excellent. And where can we find you, Kevin?
You can find me on LinkedIn, and you can find me at branddesirebook.com. Anyone can go to the website. There's a way to connect with me there, and I would be thrilled to speak with anyone, connect with anyone, talk about this in any forum.
And you're very active on LinkedIn anyway, aren't you? So
I try to be.
Yeah. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for changing my life.
Thank you for